And I just want to welcome you again, let you know I'm super excited about you being with me today. And many of you already know I'm finally called Dr. Nozella. That's what the kids call me. That's what David calls me in 43 years. My friends, my colleagues. I'm a doctor of education and very, very passionate about empowering others to achieve the quality of life that they really desire. Professionally, I'm a nutrition educator, a professor, a writer, a speaker, a researcher, and a wellness consultant. I also like to call myself a wellness advocate because I really want to advocate for people like myself. Like you, I really struggle to live that balanced life. And one thing I've learned, I have to be extremely intentional, even protective about taking care of myself. And that means really taking care of my body. And there's never been a time when this has been most important that we really invest in ourselves because you've heard me say it many times, our body is a temple of God. And I really believe it's important to take good care of that. Unfortunately, I don't have access to nature the way God really intended. We know a lot of research shows the more time people spend in nature, the healthier they are. But I don't get to enjoy the pure mountain air, the spring water. Unfortunately, I don't have a big garden that produces all the fresh foods that I would like to have. I really am a city girl, and I grew up in the city. I grew up near a dump. I was surrounded by a lot of pollution. My toxic load is really great, and that really has put me at a higher risk for disease. And that's especially important at this time because it increases our risk. But I've been really fighting back over the years, and that's why I like to call myself the urban oiler because of the pure plant oils that I have discovered from Young Living. I can really experience the benefits of nature and the plants that God designed to really be used for our health and wellness. So that really excites me. But first of all, I do want to stop and share that what I'm sharing with you today is not intended to replace the advice of your healthcare provider or to diagnose, to treat, to prevent, or to cure any disease. I am an educator, but I am really committed to helping you have access to all the resources that are available to you to help you make the best choices for your health. And my passion is really to empower you to take charge of your health and to live according to God's design. So I really appreciate you being with me here today. First of all, I want to just remind you that I was extremely blessed by the Young Living Essential Oils. I've studied probably natural health over 40 years, discovered Young Living about 20 some years. And I really love to share what I've learned and I continue to learn. And I like to share that with others. And at this time, I really feel compelled to share what I've studied, what I've learned, what I've experienced. And if you've been around me for a very long living, any length of time, you know that there's a lot that we've talked about with essential oils. You'll know that they're the lifeblood of the plant. You'll know they're really those volatile liquids, and that means it's really really small, which means they penetrate into the cells. And they're aromatic compounds from plants. They come from the leaves. They can come from the roots. They can come from the flowers. They can come from the stem. And essential oils have been used for ages. They've been used for wellness. They've been used for cosmetics, they've been used for spirituality, for emotional support. They just have a lot of constituents in it that really support the body's health. And you'll know that essential oils and the oil infused products, I believe, are the number one way to protect your home from harmful chemicals and toxins and to promote your health and the health of your whole family. Because Young Living is a health and wellness company, we're able to address wellness from a whole body perspective. And that's what I really like. Therefore, don't be shocked, but I'm going to discourage you from just buying a single oil or just using a single oil and then expecting to have some miraculous cure. I don't want to mislead you into thinking anything like that, that like one bottle of oil is going to achieve your goals. We're talking about how to live holistically. Instead, I want to empower you to set up your wellness plan. And you'll hear me talk about the need for you to have a plan so you can reach and maintain your wellness goals, especially during this time where we're staying in home a lot, we're indoors a lot. Young Living really does make it easy for us to get the products in our home. There's a loyalty subscription program. And if you're not familiar with that, we'll talk about that a little later, but it really does help you to save money as you're getting what you need. But let's get started about today's topic. Um, oops, I ate too much. Okay. We know this is a season where our food and we have cultural traditions that are extremely important to us, and they really should be. Food is not only good for practical purposes, but there's some social and emotional reasons for food. Most of us don't just live to eat. We eat to live, you know. And the truth is that food really is essential for survival, though, and we all know that. But we also know that good food is essential for growth and development, for health and wellness. However, the relationship between health and well being involves a lot of components, and that includes food and the nutrition within those foods, and our bodies and the needs that our bodies have in order for us to really function well. Initially, there was this belief that we had um, what was called body wisdom. And in that body wisdom, there was kind of this belief that you would eat, if you were left alone, you would eat what was good for you. Okay. That we know um, that people would just select what we knew that they should have. But what has kind of happened is that over the technology's kind of taken over with our food. I mean, they did a study like with infants, and there were like 34 foods that they gave these infants that were just starting to be weaned. But the foods that they offered to them didn't have any sugar, it didn't have any salt, none of them were poisonous. And they let the children just select foods that they wanted to eat. And, what they found out was that the children ate only what they needed. They didn't try to eat too much. And the children also selected the good foods that the body needed. But as I said before, technology kind of came in. And with the technology and the way we started manufacturing our food, we started to separate the tastiness of food from their nutritional worth. And what happened is our food preferences no longer were associated with what we needed to get a nutritionally adequate diet. Instead, what has happened is our food preferences are leading to overconsumption, leading to high fat, low fiber diets that put people at a greater risk for chronic disease. Um, and yet, food really wasn't intentional just for survival. It really does have some major pleasures that are really important to us. Almost 200 years ago, a scientist, Brillant Savarin, said in a book on physiology of taste, he said, the pleasure of eating occurs necessarily at least once a day and may be repeated without inconvenience two or three times in this space of time. It can be combined with all our other pleasure and even console us for during times that are necessary for us. And so food does have more than a purpose of just nutrition. There's a pleasure associated, and we want to have that, and at times like this that's important. Our food habits are determined by our culture and our lifestyle, and I understand making changes is really not easy, especially during times when there's so many pleasant memories associated with food, and we feel like we've lost so much in other areas. We feel like food is one of those things that we still can control. And we know that during times of crisis, there really is an increase in the consumption of comfort foods that people eat. We know that the consumption of alcohol has just skyrocketed during this pandemic. And we tend to eat too much during this time. In fact, you're probably hearing a lot of people talk about COVID weight that people are gaining, that they've started to kind of put on during this time. And so we kind of want to avoid that. We want to look at ways that won't happen, because if we continue on the path that we're on, we're going to be susceptible to these chronic diseases because we are not eating the way that our bodies were designed and we were intended to eat, we now have those chronic diseases. And 4 of the 10 leading causes of death, and this was even before this pandemic, um, in developed countries is heart disease, cancer, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. And who doesn't know someone that has some of that? In fact, it's believed, research is showing that 70 to 90% of diseases is really associated with lifestyle habits, such as nutrition, rather than genetics. So people were saying, well, this is just the way my parents were. And we're finding out that that is not the case at all. More research, though, is showing that you can make some real positive changes in just your individual dietary behaviors. If we make some changes in our community conditions, in our social structures, we can really help reduce our risk of disease. And that's what we want to really look at. So the question is, how can we enjoy our food without sabotaging our health? Okay. I think there's a few simple tips I just like to share with you that will help at least during this time. You're talking about the meals that you're going to be having during this season. There are some things that you can do that are pretty simple. Number one, just kind of plan ahead. Think about when you wake up, whatever's going to be happening, if you're going to be celebrating or whatever, think about what you want to eat. Visualize yourself eating those foods that are going to be the best for you. Visualize yourself not overeating. Visualize yourself enjoying your food, but not over consuming your food. Think about ways that you could eat a healthier version of something that when it's possible. Now, I'm not talking about turning everything into tofu and stuff like that. But if it's possible to use a healthier version of something that you've eaten, then do that. Use the vitality oils in your recipes. And we put some recipes up on our Facebook page. Many of you, if you have our app, you're getting those recipes that use the vitality oils. And you can modify a lot of recipes, enjoy the food, and not sacrifice the taste. Another thing you can do is just learn to eat more slowly. This is one I have to really concentrate on. Um, Eating mindfully, learning to savor the taste of every bite. And one way to do that is taking smaller portions. The first time I go around, I see things, I take a smaller portion, wait between bites that I'm eating, chew the food thoroughly. I don't know how many of you heard chew 40 times before you swallow. There's something to be said about that, preparing that food before it moves through the digestive system. Think about putting the fork down between every bite of food. That's another simple way to just slow it down. Put that fork down. And then think about eating a healthy snack or healthy, nutritious food before you go into that huge meal or that tempting meal or eating something that's going to be less nutritious, nutrient dense for you during that time. Those are just a few simple things that you can do. But mainly, what I want to talk about tonight are ways to pamper your digestive system. Many of you have heard me talk about digestion. My digestive system has been my weakest system, and I've had um, to really work with it all through my life, through childhood. There's been many reasons for that. Some of it has been just overriding the natural body impulses. Growing up in a church, you know, they talk about having church bladder, traveling a lot when you couldn't stop, when your body was saying you needed to stop, but your parents were saying we can't stop. So just a lot of things have contributed to that. And so a lot of what I'm sharing are things that I found extremely helpful so that I can pamper my digestive system, because we want this system to really serve us well, not just in this season, but you want your digestive system to serve you well for a long time. And we don't have to necessarily sacrifice all the foods that we love, especially when we start to understand how this system works and we learn to support the system on a daily basis. So I'm not going to get in the science part of that, but I am going to talk about just ways that we can support it, because the digestive system consists of the mechanical and the chemical processes that deliver the nutrients to our bodies and eliminate waste. These processes allow the body to produce energy and to maintain your normal cell function. So, who here wants more energy? Hey, I'm all for that. Remember, all health begins in the digestive system. So, it's so important that we make sure that we do everything we can to make sure that we're giving it the care that it needs. Most of us know that the bacteria in our gut play an important role in digestion. If you don't know it, surprise, there is good bacteria in your gut that's working to help you. So you don't want to destroy all the bacteria. That's why it's important if you're taking antibiotics that you replace that, because the antibiotics kill all the bacteria, the good and the bad, and that's not helpful for you. But when the digestive system struggles to digest the food we eat, most of the gut microbes jump in order to help give a helping hand. And they ensure that we're getting proper assimilation of the nutrients we need. In addition, your gut bacteria, the good stuff, is known to aid in the production of certain vitamins. So, such as your B vitamins, your K vitamins, and it also really plays a major role in your immune function. So, that's why we want to talk about the importance of supporting that. Two-thirds of your gut microbiome, which you hear a lot, it's unique to everybody. We know we're unique, and that's one area where we really see that. And that's because our microbiome is determined by the foods that we eat, and we all do that differently. It's also determined by the air we breathe, other environmental factors, such as pollutants that we breathe in, whether we're in areas of smog, whether there's a lot of chemical cleaners that we're using, what it's determined by the lotions we put on our body, the makeup we use, the soaps, the shampoos, the conditioners, all of that affects your microbiome. And you want to know that you're supporting that and not harming that. I mean, who knew that your makeup and your personal care items that you use every day could be, potentially toxic for your digestive system? But we know now that it is. It's true. Unhealthy digestive terrain has been linked to so many other health issues. So, by taking care of your digestive system, you're giving your body what it needs to properly take care of itself and to stay above the wellness line, even in times when you're tempted to kind of really overeat. So let's just say you do have a mediocre diet, or during this season you get too busy and you start enjoying a whole lot of rich and festive foods, and you just plain overeat. We know it's not good for the gut. We know it's so important that you do everything to ensure that you're getting proper nutrition. And so we want to talk about what you can add to your diet, what you can add, what you can do, not so much take away tonight, on a regular basis, that would really help your gut, really help your microbiome. So let's start with some basic essential oils that everyone should have available to use and how important they are. We know that the essential oils and the oil infused products help the body to absorb the nutrition from the foods you eat, and it makes the nutrients from our supplements to be more bioavailable. And that's why it's important that you're really using pure oils. You're not using synthetics, you're not using fragrance. We're talking about the vitalities because they're labeled to be ingested, and we want to make sure that we are getting just that plant, so that it can do what it's intended to do. You can use the vitalities as a dietary supplement. Some people can even, like to put them in a capsule and take them that way. And many of you already have the peppermint. We were talking about that earlier. When we first got on this call, how important and helpful the peppermint is, digize, and lemon. Remember that it's in the starter bundle. Lemon's a citrus, so we know those citrus oils really help build the immune system. And if you're unsure about how to use the oils, in our basic class we talk a lot more about it. But just remember this ABC method if you want to know how to use the oil. A, just apply them on your skin, apply them, and they go right into the bloodstream. B, breathe them. We've done scent tints, breathe with using your diffuser. That is going to go through the olfactory system. It's really going to support it, goes straight to the brain. It's awesome, just the work that the oils will do in supporting the body when you breathe them. And C, consume them. Of course, you want to make sure you're consuming pure oil. And that's why, I put the vitality oils up here for you to look at. Aroma Ease is a blend specifically designed to really help and support the immune system. And Tangerine also is another one that's very, very supportive of the digestive system. Aroma Ease not only is the immune system, but also does a wonderful job of supporting the digestive system. And there's also the nose rings now that have Aroma Ease on them. I have found using that nose ring, especially under my mask, has really helped me with my breathing with the mask on, and has really helped to settle my tummy doing that. So I'm really liking the aroma rings that we now have available. And again, they're reusable, so they're wonderful to use. In addition to the essential oils, you also want to use the supplements. We know if you want another way to get lemon, the benefits of lemon, um, then use alkaline. And alkaline neutralizes the acidity and it stabilizes the pH levels to maintain not only the healthy gut, but your overall health and energy as well. And this is really fun because you can take this with you. And it's one that you can either take like an hour before meals or you can take it at bedtime. And so it's just in a little packet. It's really easy to use. Um, Young Living is a company that really strives to focus on nutrition and all that's good for you. And they have just a wide range of ways to help you meet those goals. Juva Power is a cleansing spice mix. So it's really interesting because it supports your digestive system with a focus on the liver. And all you do is just sprinkle it on your salads, your chicken, your potatoes. I am just loving this. I put it in a shaker and it's become my spice mix. And when I do my eggs, I put it on there. I've done it on rice. It's really wonderful, but it's also supporting my liver and my gut at the same time. And some people add it to their juice. Some people even give it to their pets. But you can just sprinkle it over your food all day. And like I said, I just put it in a little shaker. The foods that we eat really today lack the nutrients and enzymes that our body needs. Even some of the best food that is grown does not is not grown in soil that is rich. It often has pesticides or insecticides on it. And just over time, the way the seeds are, the food does not have the density of nutrients it used to have, and it definitely doesn't have the enzymes that it needs. And our body needs enzymes in order for the food needs the enzymes to break them down properly. So that's why I've listed here the different enzymes that you could do: Allerzyme, Detoxzyme, Essentialzyme 4. And many of you have asked about this. I have a little card if you're interested that tell you the difference in these cards in the digestive enzymes. And many physicians that work with nutrition will tell you that you need different enzymes to digest different food. And so these allow you to do that, and I use them in different ways. You can start with just one. Some people just start with Essential Zyme, take that once a day. The Essential Zyme 4 is one that I have found works really well to take with every meal, especially if you're talking about a meal where you're just eating all kind of stuff that probably isn't going to settle very well. The Allerzyme is really good for people that have problems with food allergies and things like that. And the Detoxzyme is one that really, just like it says, helps to detox the body. And so they're all very, very helpful there. Um, you also see just how wonderful it is to use Balance Complete and the Pure Protein Complete, because that's a way we talked about trying to have a healthy snack before you leave to go somewhere. Using the Balance Complete or the Pure Protein Complete, you can make you up a quick shake, get some condensed nutrition in before you go for that meal that's going to be really tasty, but may not be so helpful for you. Same thing with taking multigreens. You can get those in and make sure you're getting a good little nutrition in before you start to eat what you see on the other side of this slide here, those tasty treats there. Um, it's really important. Like Allerzyme is a powerful a vegetarian enzyme supplement, and it aids in digestion, and it also relieves bloating and gas. Allerzyme also reduces food-related discomfort, and so that's one to kind of carry with you when you're going to be going out or having a meal that may not be the best that you would want it to be. As I mentioned before, one way to ensure you're getting your nutrients, that you're getting fiber, minerals, protein all together, is to take a balanced, complete drink there, because it's not only a meal replacement, but along with the natural components in it, it also has ability to kind of help cleanse a little bit. And there is a 5-day nutritive cleanse that many like to do, maybe after the holidays or between the holidays. And some people do it before the holidays. They find it helpful. As I mentioned, the Tangerine Vitality is really well known for supporting digestive health too. Tangerine is an easy way to kind of get the constituents of the fruit's rind. And you can easily kind of drop tangerine in. Fennel is another excellent one that works really well with Ningxia Red, and it really helps support your digestive system. You got to know that we couldn't go much farther without talking about the Ningxia Red, because it is just such a powerful key supplement. It's one that we really should be doing every day. You can see just all the antioxidant power that's in Ningxia Red. We recommend that it's something you do first thing in the morning. It's something that you do if you're starting a wellness plan. It's the first place to start, because it does support the digestive system as well as every other system of our body. It helps our body to maintain the health, the stamina, and the cognitive wellness that we want to have. Um, I know Ningxia is a funny name. A lot of people have a hard time saying it. That's because it's a name that comes from the province of China in China, where the primary ingredient in Ningxia Red is grown there. That's the Ningxia wolfberry, and it's the predominant food of the people of that region. And those people live to be over 100 years old. That's their norm. And they contribute their health and longevity to this particular wolfberry, which is packed full of dense nutrition and contains about 4 times the nutrients of the wolfberry in neighboring provinces. And it scores about 3,290 on the ORAC scale. And if you aren't familiar with the ORAC scale, the bottom line is that score measures the antioxidant capacity of food. So the higher the number, the better it is, and the more effective that food is. Antioxidants kind of give the lining of your gut a little tender loving care, and it protects the cells by keeping normal inflammation at bay. And you probably heard a lot about inflammation is the key one component that we know all disease starts with inflammation. So this kind of keeps that at bay, and it really helps also to promote the growth of really good bacteria. I think it's Dr. Richard Cutler of the new National Institutes of Health. He said the amount of antioxidants that you maintain in your body is directly proportional to how long you live. So we know that getting those antioxidants any time of the year, whatever's going on, you want to do everything you can to do that. And there's actually 17 species and wolfberry, and only the Ningxia wolfberry has a complete nutrient profile. It's higher in vitamin C than oranges. It's higher in calcium than cauliflower. It's higher in beta carotene than carrots. And it is high in vitamin E, and it's high in protein. It's extremely rich in amino acids, especially one you've heard about, the L-glutamine, which is very important for your healthy gut. Again, Ningxia Red contains 21 trace minerals, which are important for all the body systems to properly function. And it has 6 essential fatty acids that help the body naturally respond to your normal gut inflammation. And it even has vitamins B, 2, and 6, which help the body to change the carbohydrates in your diet into energy for your cells and that keeps your appetite regulated. So you can see how all of that ties together. It's extremely dense in nutrition. And most of us just aren't getting proper nutrition. We're not getting the foods that we need to eat. So the Ningxia Red contains a high quality of juices as well, but they're purees and purees like blueberry, pomegranate, plum, and cherry, not some of your cheaper juices like apple. And amazingly, even though these juices are included, it still supports a healthy blood sugar level. That's a key there for many people that have had issues with their blood sugar. They're really surprised that they can do the Ningxia Red and it keeps that level where it needs to be. And that's because it's a puree and the puree still has the fiber in it, and fiber helps to balance out that blood sugar. Another thing that sets Ningxia Red apart is that it's the only nutritive supplement available that's infused with the essential oils. And remember, we said essential oils aid the body's ability to absorb and assimilate the nutrients that we're eating, which is really crucial when we're talking about digestive support, because you want to make sure that what you're eating is being assimilated. It's not just going in and coming out. So that is key. Um, Another really important way to support your gut is going to be by moving. Okay. You've got to be moving during this time. And we are at a time when it's hard to move a lot. We're sitting more. We're on Zooms. Many of us are on Zooms or more. We're not outside. We're not going very many places. But we've got to talk about how important physical activity is to our health. And the American Heart Association recommends that everyone, uh, if you want a healthy heart, that you're getting at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week. Um, Research has shown that exercise can help with occasional gas or bloating, and the physical movement can really help to stimulate the movement of the bowels. So just walking like 30 minutes a day, even if you're doing 10 minutes throughout the day to equal 30 minutes, will decrease your chances of falling below that health line. And I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be hard. Right now, just whatever you're doing, put your hands up and just do a really deep, deep, deep stretch. High, 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 high. Just a high stress, stretch arms out to the side, just gently a little bit back, a little bit in front, just a stretch, just a stretch. Let's do that real gently with your neck to one side. Just watching the computer a lot stresses that neck to the other side. Drop your neck down to your chest, just really slowly roll it a little to one side and roll it a little bit to the other side. You're sitting, just move your feet up and down. Just move them up and down. Just move your feet. You can do this if you're watching TV, you're just sitting, just like you're walking in your place, just walking in place. You really need to understand how important it is to just think of ways that you can move throughout the day, even when you're doing your regular activities. You want to be getting some stretches, which is what we just did. Aerobics are things that are getting your heart moving a little bit more. So those are things like you're walking, you're running, you're getting on a treadmill. You don't have to, do a marathon. We're just talking about moving. Your strength exercises are going to be the exercises that are going to really help strengthen your muscles, each muscle group. I don't know if you remember Jack LaLanne, but just press your palms together like this. This is just a simple, simple, simple strength exercise, and then let it go. And press it together again. And then let it go. And you can probably feel that kind of in your shoulders. If you're having a little discomfort there, don't do that too hard because it might be a little bit too much. But those strength exercises are key to helping us, and all of that helps with the digestive system. We've discussed like Ningxia Red being a foundation for every system, and it being the first place to start when you're talking about a wellness plan. And we know that health begins in the digestive system. So along with Ningxia Red, we've talked about Digest, Vitality being a great companion because it also promotes digestion. We can also use the Digest, the Ningxia Red when we're traveling, when we are going to be moving a lot or going from place to place. Um, if we're changing our schedule sometimes, or we're feeling anxious and kind of um, um, stressed, all of that will still really help with the tummy upsets. In addition to just knowing we ate too much apple pie, okay? And you can easily kind of put a drop or two in a gel cap, and you can take it as a dietary supplement, and that also will quickly aid in any gastrointestinal discomfort that you may have, and you won't have some of the side effects from some of the other things that we tend to go to that we take at that time. So keep that in mind, the nutrition, the fitness, and I want to talk just a little bit more about ways that you can support um, your micro biome, because this really is key, mainly because you'll hear me say it many times, 70% of your immune system stems from the digestive system. There are billions of microorganisms that live in our immune system. And Master Formula is one of the supplements that contains prebiotics. You've heard a lot about probiotics and how important they are for a healthy gut, and how it's important for us to have that good bacteria. We've talked about that. Well, the prebiotics are important because they feed the good bacteria and they allow the immune cells to work throughout the body without having to focus so much, just on the digestive system. So when you add the master formula to your wellness plan, then you're also getting even more gut health in addition to helping your immune system be stronger and helping have those antioxidants, plus you're getting prebiotics. And that all means that you're going to have a stronger immune system. You're going to have a much stronger digestive system. And one of the things I have really enjoyed is having the KidSense Mighty Pro, because it's a prebiotic formula. It was formulated for kids, but it has become very popular with adults. It's in the little packets. You can just open it up. It's got the little fizzy taste a little bit. It's kind of fun, tastes good, but it really provides those prebiotics that feed the gut. And it's just so important to realize when we take care of the microbiome, the benefits to health are vast. It gives us the ability to stay active, to sustain energy. It promotes the nutrient absorption, such as folate. And folate is really necessary for your healthy cell reproduction. It helps B12, which helps with the DNA in your red blood cells, and the fatty acids, which also help to maintain the healthy cells in your bowel wall. So we really are looking for ways to help that. Um, when we're looking at balancing the health of the digestive system, also, I think sulfurzyme is really very helpful. And then if you add that with Inner Defense and Life 9, you have just got, I think, dynamic trio. Okay, sulfurzyme combines the wolfberry with MSM. You may have heard of that, which is a naturally occurring organic form of dietary sulfur that's needed by our bodies every day to maintain the structure of proteins, to protect your cell membranes, to replenish the connection between cells, and to preserve the molecular framework of the connective tissue. This is not the same sulfur that people often are allergic to, okay? It's the dietary. MSM also supports the immune system, the liver, the circulation, and proper intestinal function. And it really works to scavenge those free radicals, okay? So the wolfberries contain, that's in this sulfurzyme, they contain the minerals and coenzymes that support assimilation. We talk about that a lot, and the metabolism of sulfur. And the FOS is also something that's in this formula that also supports a normal digestive system health. So we want to look at ways that we can support that gut, not just during this season, but all year round. Now, Inner Defense, one of my favorites, especially during this time, It's basically that Thieves Vitality in a capsule, but it also has a proper ratio of thyme vitality, oregano vitality, and lemongrass vitality. A couple of those we'll talk about at the end. Inner defense creates this unfriendly terrain for yeast and fungus in your gut. Okay. All right. So it tends to be really effective when you take it like 6 to 8 hours before you take the probiotic. So you want to take the probiotic, which is the Life 9, okay, because it's extremely amazing. It has 9 clinically proven high potency probiotic strains that don't inhibit um, each other. And it also combines 17 billion live cultures from these 9 bacteria strains that really promote digestion, gut health, and it helps maintain that normal intestinal function. So you can take that inner defense with that Life 9, and you're just getting that, and the sulfurzyme, man, you're just getting the dynamic dual trio, I like to say. Um, because you really want to be prepared as you go into this season. You'll want to have, these products ready. I like to carry my digestive oils with me. So the peppermint, the digest, I usually have them along with me all the time. I also usually have digestive enzymes with me and inner defense with me. So if I'm going somewhere, I find I'm going to be eating some things that probably aren't the best thing for me to eat, I can just take the enzymes at that time, and I give myself that support for my food at that time. I also added here a little bit more because some people are interested in trying to do some cleansing during this time. And so the ICP is a natural way to help cleanse and move your food through the body. It does not work the same way as a laxative, so it helps the body to work the way it was intended to move the food through, as does Comfort Tone. And so those two together, some people take a tablespoon in the morning with Comfort Tone and the Juvatone. That really is a protocol that supports the digestive system, especially if you're like me and you have some major issues going on. Then that's something that you really want to do. Um, the products that we're kind of talking about today are just some really good examples of things that you might want to see. Look at what you already have on hand, and look what are some things you might want to put on your loyalty essential rewards to kind of, jumpstart your wellness plan, to make sure that your wellness plan is helping you get to your goal. But keep in mind, everybody's different, and so this is not the kind of thing where you're just going to get one thing, take it, and immediately get a result. Not that you don't see results oftentimes immediately, but we are talking about building the system. And so, as I said before, don't expect one drop of oil to miraculously change something. We're talking about how can you support the system, giving your digestive system what it needs every day so that it can um, serve you a lifetime. I mean, I would like to see our community live to be 100 and have a quality of life, and that be our norm. And right now, that is not our norm because there's just many things we have not understood about health and wellness. Um, I also want to just share with you during this time, and if you have specific digestive issues, the raindrop technique. If you've heard of the raindrop massage that Dr. Gary Young did, was when he combined several oils in a massage that would help build the body's immunity. Well, these are oils that, when layered on, help to build the digestive system. I'm not able to get to a massage therapist. Um, I had someone that was really great that would do this, but she's hasn't been able to do it for several years, and so I've used this on the bottom of my feet. So I'm just gonna share this kind of little bonus thing, but I just wanted to share this with you. Um, I use Valor first, and I just layer it on my feet because it's balancing, grounding. Oregano, then I put it on. I just use like 2 or 3 drops on each foot, massage it in. Tarragon after that. I layer on phenol, I layer on cumin, I layer on spearmint, I layer on digize, and then I come back with Valor, and then massage that into my feet. I find that really, not only do I rest really well that night, but that settles my digestive system. And I only have to do that maybe once a week, or when I feel like I'm having uh, an episode. I might do it then. Um, we're almost ready to close, but I want to make sure, if you already, have a membership, or you're already using these products, many of these you're going to find in your starter kit. But I would suggest start to write down the ones that you think would be most helpful for you, so you can begin to personalize and build what you need. And look at, the products that we've talked about, which ones will help you get closer to um, your goals. And if you're not a member, then I really encourage you to just kind of head over to um, youngliving.com. And it's really easy to do. You just go in there. Whoever invited you, whoever you've talked with the most, use their member number, and just put them in as your enroller and sponsor, and follow the directions going there. Keep in mind, if you already are using the products, you can really save a lot of money if you choose to be a part of that loyalty program, just because you will get back. So many gifts and points that'll help. um, I mean, 10% at one point on your monthly order, and then it moves all the way up to 25%. So you get that back, that you can use for cash for any other product. So it's really, really, really easy to kind of do. So I, encourage you, if you're not doing any of that, to take advantage of the loyalty program. Um, and Many of you could probably talk about how that has helped you um, up to this point. So I am going to, I want to thank you for the time that we've had here. I really encourage you, contact me, Dr. Nozella Brown at naturallynozella.gmail.com. My member number is 120-1676. And I also sent out a resource guide that had the notes from tonight's class. So be sure that you get those. Um, if you don't have those, you should be able to download those. I sent them in an email, and I believe that I put it on Facebook. I'm going to stop the recording here, and then I'm going to stop the share, and then I'm going to allow us to have